Welcome to the AskOkey podcast. Another Monday with you, and we're very happy to be with you. The checkered flag is up, as they say, and we're off with Prof here as my guest, and he's wearing an interesting garment. Prof, how are you, apart from the garment?
Both garment and man are doing quite well.
Good. Now, this is a winner, I think. I think this really is a winner. It's another iteration of the AskOkey Safari.
Correct.
And it's what, royal blue?
Well, some
French
would call this
blue?
petrol blue.
Petrol blue,
Yes.
right, okay.
Some would call this petrol blue.
And that's
I'm not
curious. I
mistaken.
mean, petrol isn't blue.
Well, it isn't blue precisely, but it does have a blue hue to it.
Okay.
When viewed under certain
I
under sunlight.
see, okay.
Yes.
Petrol blue. And it's linen?
It is linen, yes.
Yes,
It is
great
linen.
stuff.
It's linen Mesolaire.
Right.
Linen from our partners at Harrison's.
Harrison's Mesolaire.
Yes.
Yeah, this is quite amazing, isn't it? And it's completely different from the other safaris. The pattern, I mean, looking at that houndstooth number
Correct.
up there, the pattern and the fabric give it a very different appearance. Now, you're fully AskOkey today because that, I think, is an AskOkey tie.
Yeah, that is correct, Pete.
It is.
Very good eye.
Yes, and well, you can't mistake them, can you? No, because there are only a few patterns that look like that. So well done, patriotic of you to put all that on. And so this is it's the same safari. It looks somehow different. I don't know why. It's the same safari as that one
Yes.
in every respect. Pockets look a bit bigger, don't they?
Well, no,
curious?
they are
Exactly the
pretty
same.
much the same cut.
Yeah.
As you know, these things can look different. Proportions
Yeah,
can
they do,
differ
don't they?
based on the fabric and the pattern.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes misleading, but
Yes.
these things do happen. But it's basically the same cut.
And would you recommend, for the average punter out there, would you recommend just the jacket or the full suit like what you have?
Well, obviously, the full suit is more dressy.
Right.
If you're looking to, I mean, not to imitate an African dictator like Mobutu.
Yeah, right.
Or,
Yeah. Bokassa,
or Bokassa, any number of them. But for those of you who are, let's say, looking for an alternative to a conventional suit for a more casual yet dressy affair, perhaps a weekend event, perhaps
Right.
even a wedding on a weekend,
Right.
and you want to appear less stuffy
Sure.
or less dressy, then a safari one as I'm wearing it might be the ticket with a dress shirt and a tie. Of course, it could even be further dressed down by wearing it with an open neck shirt
Yes,
and maybe
yes.
an ascot.
Yes,
So it
that's
is
right.
it is a garment that really offers a lot of versatility as far as how it can be accessorized and where
It does, doesn't
and
it?
when it can be worn. So it's a
Yes.
really super versatile garment.
It's very. I wonder about the tie with it, though. I mean, I obviously don't question your judgment in these matters, Prof, but I'm curious because I would have thought maybe one of those shirts like Hashim has, with the collar comes out,
Yeah,
camp
the
shirt.
camp collar.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in a prior podcast, I did have on the sport jacket version of this.
Right.
I had it
yes,
on with
yes.
a camp collar shirt
Yeah.
and an ascot.
And an ascot, yes.
And so for a sport jacket, I certainly would do that.
Yeah,
I would not wear, for instance, a tie with a safari sport jacket.
Sure.
However, this is a suit.
Yes, it is
And
indeed.
so for all intents and purposes, it is still a suit. So that's why I've dressed it up with a tie.
Marvelous.
And a dress shirt.
I must say that the color is striking, isn't it?
It is very summery. It is one of those colors that struck me as soon as I saw it. As you know, I am wont to look around our vendors and see what's new. And I imagine whenever I see something that catches my eyes, I automatically imagine what it might look like in a finished garment and what type of finished garment. So when I saw this, it's linen, it's petrol blue, It's summery, and I thought to myself, this is certainly a summer suit. But the question becomes, what kind of summer suit? Is it a conventional one? And then we were on the verge of launching or starting the process of designing our Safari SKU. And so I thought, well, this would be a good guinea pig for the Safari cut.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what is it, 14 ounce?
This is about 500 grams.
Ooh.
So it's pretty chunky. It's pretty good weight.
Yes.
It's about 500 grams, and we've talked about this before. I am more inclined to heavier linens because they wrinkle less. They tend to fold or crumple and not wrinkle. They tend to hold shape better for longer. So as far as tailoring goes, for shirting, lighter linens are fine, but for tailoring, I prefer sort of beefier linens.
Well, 500 grams is about as beefy, I think, as you're going to get with linen.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they do get heavier than that, but
that other stuff that you have from Maison Hellard.
From Maison Hellard, we have a couple of 500 heavy hitters from Maison Hellard as well in the 500 gram range. And then we have even heavier than 500 grams from Ulster Weavers.
Right, okay. Yep.
Spence Bryson.
Yep. Spence Bryson. Yep.
And that really is borders on upholstery.
That's right, yes.
Borders on upholstery. But as far as conventional tailoring linen, I think, 500 grams is about sort of, the edge, the edge of it.
Yes. Fascinating. And can we just take a look at the lower half?
Oh, certainly.
Because I noticed when you came in that these are braceless.
Yes.
And they're flat-fronted, and they are not the usual triple F fulls that we see. These are narrow AskOkey.
These are the kind of the more casual flat front trousers.
Yeah.
And the reason is simple. We thought when we were designing the Safari, we thought, well, this is a casual suit, and one is apt to take the coat off at any point in time. It's one in the summer, it's hot, it's warm, and if, let's say, you are at a casual affair and you just want to sort of take off the coat off, we wanted to make the trousers such that it would just sort of be easy to wear it without a jacket. And so a flat front pair of trousers just seemed more sensible to pair with the Safari suit than our traditional, full cut high rise trousers.
No. I can see that.
So there you have it.
There we have it. You can actually button it up.
Correct.
But you don't normally wear it buttoned, but there it is, yes.
You can actually wear it buttoned.
Military.
It does look
regimental,
absolutely. It has a very colonial
I guess you could say that, yes.
So there you have it. That's the
if it were in khaki,
side view. If you wear, we do have one in tan.
More like Mobutu's outfit, wouldn't it? Yes, and we've got that drape, everybody, back drape, characteristic of the AskOkey cut and design.
We do have one in tan. However, I was instructed by Captain over here to wear the petrol blue.
Oh, indeed. Well, it's much more.
But we do have one in tan.
Conversation piece.
We do have one in tan, which looks much more conventional, like your, I suppose you might say your typical colonial.
Your typical.
Colonial.
I
might look like a colonial governor.
That's right. Yeah.
Or rather, if you wore it,
you might
look like a colonial governor.
Yes. Yes, indeed. We don't want to run the risk of that because we get all sorts of comments.
All sorts of comments.
Yes, we do.
I remember a comment. Please allow me to chip in. In the early days, remember when you wore your beige suit?
Yeah, the cream-colored suit.
The cream-colored suit. And someone, it was really, really a stupid comment, but somebody says, Pete looks like he invented racism.
No such luck, I'm afraid. No. It's a little
how
older
do
than
people
me.
come up with this thing?
Well, there are poets.
I suppose it was a reference to sort of like the colonial look, sort of the cream suit.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
The cream suit. It looks, you look like sort of like one of these colonial administrators.
Maybe.
From England, somewhere in Africa.
Well, see, one of the reasons I found out was one of the reasons for the light color suits, that linen suits that they always wore, was that a little bit like yours, in the trousers would be flat-fronted and so, is because when you live in that sort of climate, and you know this from coming from there, you iron your clothes to kill the lice that get into the seams. When you hang your laundry up to dry out, you get these bugs into the seams, and you iron it to kill them. And if you have a white or cream-colored garment, you can see the dirt. So you know when it's clean, whereas if it's dark, you don't know.
Correct.
And the difference is, or can be, very, very serious. My wife, Jan, as you know, is from the Philippines. And there, they do the same thing. You iron it along the seam, iron the trousers, and you wear lighter colors so that you can see that it's been washed properly.
I never quite thought of it.
Because you get little worms that go into the seams and live there. And then eventually they get under your skin. And all sorts of things. But this was apparently the reason. Also, so you can bleach it. And I suspect as well, it was that the Army and Navy stores who outfitted a lot of these people probably only had one color, and that was it, But it was certainly, it was partly because it was convenient. Also, excuse me, the color wouldn't run, you see. So you could wash it in water and the color wouldn't run.
But colonial tan that's the name I was looking for. That's the actual name of the color.
Is it? Okay.
It's called colonial tan, which is it's a yellowish beige, not quite sort of cream.
No.
Sort of a yellowish beige. It's called colonial tan. Is the conventional color when you think of safari. That's what comes to mind.
That's the color.
Right. Sort of a khaki-ish, colonial tan, even when done in, fabrics other than cotton.
Really?
Right.
So that light brown. Yeah. Interesting. Little, slightly olive, if memory serves.
Yes.
Now, interesting, because we had one of our team put up this fantastic photograph on the YouTube today.
Oh, yes, from the MTM shop.
Isn't it amazing?
It is.
And the caption reads, I didn't write it, I don't know who wrote it. The caption reads, "The unmistakable beauty of an AskOkey armhole." Now, I don't think beauty is the first word that would come to the average guy's mind. But if you think about it, there is certainly some artistic satisfaction in that.
Yes.
In terms of whoever made it.
It is. I might have put up that post, but I didn't take the photo myself.
No.
The photo is taken, of course, by Tim, who's stationed at the workshop in Japan. But that is a customer's garment in progress.
It is.
It is now almost finished.
Yep.
But I believe he took those pictures while they were in progress.
Yeah.
So that is an actual AskOkey garment or customer's garment.
And what's amazing is that you can see the layers of shoulder padding.
Correct. And canvassing.
And you can see where the canvas comes.
Correct.
And you can see also, interestingly, the shape of the armhole, which is not actually a circle.
It's an oval.
It's an oval, slightly on one side. Yeah, and it's a sort of lightweight, medium weight maybe, gray pinstripe fabric. Similar to what...
looks like a chalk stripe.
Looks like a chalk stripe, yes. Similar to what Tim had in his picture.
Yes, it looks like a chalk or a rope stripe.
But the amazing thing, to me at any rate, is the amount of all that padding there, which gives our shoulders that really nice strength to it. And you can see in the next picture.
And that's why you have such symmetrical shoulders.
Absolutely.
That's why the shoulder line is so symmetrical.
It certainly is. It certainly is. I mean, you could hang a kettle on one of those. They really are.
Beautiful shoulders.
Very, very well done. And I noticed that the jacket gorge has come down a bit.
Well, that's part of our DNA. What we've tried to do with the MTM line is, as much as possible, bequeath our bespoke DNA to its younger brother or younger sister, the MTM. We had to just like we had to build the patterns for the bespoke garments from scratch. We have to create the garments for the MTM pattern. Now, obviously, the only difference being that MTM is made from a standard block,
Yeah.
So we only have to do it once.
Yeah.
We only have to do it once for a master pattern and then sort of adjust from there. With bespoke, of course, we have to make a new pattern for everyone.
Yeah.
So we had to create a master garment in the spirit of our bespoke garment, which is now digitally stored in the MTM workshop. And so all the MTM jackets, right, all the customers' garments are going to have that same DNA of our...
From that one pattern.
That is correct.
Sort of the Adam,
correct,
as it were. The Adam.
So everything we do on our
Genesis.
bespoke garment, you know, the classic gorge heights, you know, the shape of the collar, you know, the length of the coat, you know, the lapels, everything is going to be reflected. I mean, I was saying on Instagram earlier on today that basically our MTM garment is visually indistinguishable from our bespoke garment.
Yes.
And the only difference is going to be in the, I suppose they say the taste of the pudding is in the eating. And so the difference is going to be in when you wear it. I mean, when you wear a bespoke garment, it's unmistakable. You know, you feel it right away. And I've explained this in several videos. You feel it's just, a bespoke garment just moves better. It's more organic. It's more agile. It's more organic.
Sure.
And the reason is simple. A machine-made garment, because all MTMs are machine-made, including ours, of course, which is why you can offer it at such a price. You know, there's less hand, you know, labor. You know, when you make a make a garment by machine, the stitches are very short.
Right.
They're very, very short. The stitches per square inch are very, very short. And so it's very taut. It creates a very rigid seam, right? Creates a very rigid seam. Versus something that's been sewn by hand is a lot more flexible.
Right.
A lot more supple, a lot more flexible. So, and obviously you can imagine a garment that's been sewn by hand completely. Literally every joint has more flexibility to it than say a garment that's been sort of sewn by a machine. So in theory, you're not doing anything different. It's just sort of sewing something or making something by hand just makes the joints far more dynamic.
Even without making them too loose.
Absolutely.
So they're tight enough.
They're still, I mean, it has nothing to do with securing. You can secure a seam, right? Even when done by hand, right? You can still secure, can be sewn securely by hand. But just the fact that, you know, it's the sewing they're further apart, right? So if you just think about it, when you look at a hand-sewn garment, right, you can see the threads are further apart. It's just sort of a much more, it's a looser, more dynamic seam.
Interesting.
Or stitch than when you do it by machine. You go like that. So it's very taut, right? It's secure, of course. And there are some things that call for machine stitching. For instance, straight seams, right? Like your trouser straight seams. It doesn't make sense to do it by hand.
No.
Some do it by hand, but there is no dynamic part in the trouser.
So you don't need.
You don't need it. The only dynamic part is the knee, right? Of your trousers,
cloth anyway.
Which is cloth anyway. So it's unlike the armhole, which is constantly in motion, right? Or the collar, which is constantly in motion, or parts of the chest, right? Which are constantly moving. So straight seams, or even with your jacket, like your seam, your body, the side body, right? Sometimes are done by machine. Because there are no what do you call it, joints.
Tensions.
There is no tension point, right? It's just a straight line. So that really is the main difference between machine and hand. Handmade garments or items generally just tend to be a lot more dynamic just because it's sewn by a human hand.
And I guess you mentioned the armholes. What about the back seam? Is that done by machine?
The back seam, again, on our handmade garments, everything's done by hand, right? Including the back seam, right? With a machine-made garment, obviously, it's sort of like stitched by machine.
Right.
You know, it could make a difference, but not that much of a difference, right?
Because it's fitted correctly anyway.
If it's fitted correctly, because it's a straight line, it's just down the middle. But if you see in a handmade garment, sometimes you can actually see the, sort of the pick stitching, along the center seam.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about hand stitching is that even if the same guy did it on two jackets, it's never going to be quite identical, is it?
You can see the trouser you're wearing is been hand stitched.
Right.
You can see the seam stitching, right?
There we are, yes.
You can see it's been sort
What
of
do they
stitched.
call it? Felling? No.
It's called
Where
it's just
folded
it's
over.
called a pick stitching.
Yeah, no, it's folded over slightly.
Yeah, it's called a, and it's largely cosmetic.
Yeah, right,
It's not
yeah,
really functional. It's largely, it just looks more beautiful.
Right.
But to my point, you could have that run top to bottom by a machine, and nobody would be any wiser, and it would not be any more or less functional than one that is made by hand.
Yes. Yeah. Interesting. So the reason for the way that the bespoke jacket feels is the stitching and the whole way that the tailor's done that. But it's also the fit.
Remember also, sort of like with the bespoke jacket, for things like the canvas are hand basted.
Right.
It's a floating canvas.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? It's a floating
So he
canvas.
stitches it with loose stitches.
Exactly, they're looser.
Yeah.
Versus a machine-made garment that must, even if it's fully canvassed, like our MTM, they're all fully canvassed, but it's attached by a machine. There's a canvassing machine.
Right. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
There's a canvassing machine that attaches the canvas to the fabric itself. So again, that's another. The chest is another tension, is another point. When you have a floating canvas, it's more dynamic.
Yeah, of course it would be. Yes.
It just feels more dynamic when you wear the garment.
So the difference between our made-to-measure and the bespoke garments is internal rather than external.
It's all internal.
Yeah.
Visually, like I said, they're barely distinguishable because, think about it. What we've done is two things here. One is the design, the architecture, and then the other is the engineering.
Yeah.
So from an architectural standpoint, and you said this yourself a couple of podcasts ago, that we are primarily a design shop, right? Before we are a tailoring shop. So that is our strength, and that is why people come to us, is, because of our design prowess.
Yeah, I think so.
So we're able to communicate that design language through any number of products or models.
Sure.
We've done it with our bespoke, and we're able to do it basically because we own it. We did it, right?
Yeah.
And nobody else can recreate that design language.
Very difficult.
So we've been able to recreate that design language in our MTM product from an aesthetic standpoint. However, the difference clearly is in the engineering of the garment.
Of course,
itself.
yeah. But then, as you said, the person wearing it will know the difference.
Any experience, even an inexperienced person probably will feel the difference. Yes.
Well, yeah, and also because it's made to measure, it's never going to be 100% your shape. You see, it's like anything that's I don't want to say comes out of a factory, but anything that's designed fairly on a standard pattern. It doesn't matter what it is. Shoes, for example. You can get good shoes that are made in a factory, and they look great. They're well made. They've got beautiful leather, but they might be a little bit narrow, a little bit wide, and so forth. Even though they're the same size,
correct,
as somebody else's. But that's good, and we can see from the picture there that the internal construction is what people would expect it to be. I think it's very important that they know that, because after all, when they buy the jacket and get it home, they can't, unless they're really curious, they're not going to rip it apart to find out.
It is an incredible value, if I do say so myself. Actually, I am quite stunned at the level of the quality of the construction and the material that goes into it. Basically, that garment is bespoke by any other name.
Indeed.
The only difference is that it's basically stitched together by machines. But in terms of the elements, the construction, everything goes into it, and not just sort of the material, but in terms of the eye and the care. If you look at that suit jacket, look at the pinstripes and how they match up at the shoulder.
The pattern matching.
Correct.
Yes, yes,
Look
yes.
at how they match up at the shoulder.
Yeah, they do.
That is
And
very
they've got
detailed.
and they match on the lapel
Everything
and
matches
the
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. That is bespoke
Quite true.
level attention to detail.
Quite true.
You don't get that from a factory suit.
No, and the other difference, Prof, if you look at the way that the stripes hang, when you pull it together, they won't point in.
Correct.
You see what I mean?
Correct.
Because they're going out ever so slightly when the jacket's on the mannequin. You see the way the stripes go out a little bit at the bottom. So when you pull the buttons, when you button it and pull it together, you'll see a straight line there.
Correct.
Yes. So everybody, made to measure, bespoke by any other name, and we'll be back in a few minutes after our sponsor and station identification. Are you the best dressed man in the room wherever you go? If not, why not? It's not that difficult. AskOkey makes bespoke suits, jackets, trousers, and other garments for discerning men all over the world. So next time you look around and feel that you're not quite presentable, give us a call, send us a mail, or send us a direct message on the social media channels, and we'll kit you up to look like a king. Bye for now. Welcome back, and as you may have heard when we just finished the segment a moment ago, I said a few words from our sponsor, which of course is a lie because our sponsor is essentially you. You're the people who watch, you're the people who give us the likes and subscribes, and you're the people who buy our product. So thank you all very much for your sponsorship. And don't forget, in the spirit of sponsorship, like and subscribe before you switch us off and go and watch cat videos, the news, or something equally edifying. Prof, just to come back here, following on from our discussion about made to measure, we've got a lovely photograph here of one of our customers. His name is Rudy A.
Yes.
And there he is outside his, I don't know if it's his pickup truck or somebody else's, and he's got a fox, looks to me like fox flannel.
It's not a flannel. It's a worsted actually.
Is it?
I've seen the suit myself. It's a beautiful, beautiful worsted. It looks almost like a nail head.
Right.
Just beautiful fabric. Or like actually it looks like a shark skin. I'd say more like a shark skin than a nail head. And the reason I saw it was that it was sent back to the factory. Just we needed to. He's a very particular customer, and he wanted his name and the date of production of the garment sewn into the garment. So we had him ship it back to us, and we were delighted to hand embroider his name and the date of production of the garment into his coat and sent it back to him in the States, in Maryland.
Super. So Rudy, if you're watching, shout out to you. Thanks for sending the photograph.
Rudy Gomez.
Thank you very much, Rudy Gomez. No, it's beautiful because you can really see the drape in the chest.
Correct.
And he's got two very good shoulders there. And you can see also how the sleeve has been pitched.
Absolutely. And you look at the trousers and the drape on the trousers. Just
really?
Absolutely marvelous.
Good. Good. So there we are, social proof, everybody. Go to our YouTube channel, dig in and look at the posts, and you'll see Rudy looking fairly pleased with himself in his AskOkey.
He was very happy.
Suit. Good. Glad to hear it. Well, it's always a relief when somebody's pleased with what he gets. Now, moving from the, as you might, I don't want to say the sublime to the ridiculous, people have been asking, and people ask fairly often, can we look at some commercial offerings and get Proff's opinion, without naming names, obviously, can we get Proff's opinion on these sorts of things? And so I've picked one out here. I thought, let's have a look at this. It comes from a very popular online made-to-measure store. And I thought, let's have a look at it. And in fairness, see what we can say about it, because it needs your eye. I mean, I could throw off a few comments, but I wouldn't want to, not being on that side of things. And so everybody, if you've asked for this, here you go. You'll see the image on the screen. Prof, this one here.
Uh, hmm. What are the expectations here? Am I supposed to critique the garment?
Well, I'm just curious. What might be done to improve it? Do you think?
Okay, so let's start with the basics. The jacket is too short. I always preach and teach on the reels that your jacket should, at a bare minimum, cover your crotch,
Right.
and your behind,
Right. Yes.
whatever
yes,
you want,
yeah.
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It should cover your crotch and your behind at a bare minimum. So clearly, this doesn't pass that test. Sleeves are a tad too long. We're just talking about the front now. I can't really see the trousers because they're
not there.
They're
So
hidden by the coat. But let's talk about the jacket. The sleeves are slightly too long. They need to be shorter by perhaps an inch or slightly
that
more.
much.
That
Wow.
much. Yeah, they're too long. They're literally stopping at the base of his thumb.
Right. Okay.
Which is just
okay. No, that is.
just way too long. The jacket is too small in the shoulders. You know, it's a beefy guy. He needs a fuller cut, definitely.
Yeah.
The jacket is too small across the shoulders. Same thing across the chest. You can see that the lapel is bowing.
Yeah.
The lapel is bowing.
Yes, it is. Yes,
bowing out,
yes.
which tells you that the chest is cut too small.
Yes. Yes.
Lapel should be lying flat. And when you button it right there shouldn't be any tension on the waist. So you can see clearly the chest is too small, the lapel is bowing, and it's creating tension at the waist button. Even though there seems to be quite a bit of maybe sufficient room in the waist, but the chest is too tight, it's too small. What we call the cross chest measurement is too small. Now, the reason it's too small is simple, because the shoulders are too small. I always tell my people at the workshop, once you get the shoulders wrong, nothing else goes right. Because the shoulders are where everything starts. You cannot cut a full chest with a small shoulder. You need extended shoulders to be able to get enough fabric across the chest to get that chest straight.
But how do you extend the shoulders without making them look as though they're falling down at the sides?
Well,
Just
you
padding?
you can. They don't have to be excessively, excessively. They just have to be extended enough. Okay. For instance, I look at this jacket. If I were to reconstruct this, I'd extend the shoulders slightly. And what happens is when you extend the shoulders, the sleeves tend to drape properly in a perpendicular line.
Yeah, you don't get that.
You don't get all that
outwards.
bunching.
Yeah,
you get all that bunching and sort of all that, you can see his biceps bulging out. So shoulder extensions are not just to make your shoulders look wider or to make you look like Superman or like Incredible Hulk, but it also helps the sleeve drape better because it basically sort of creates a cantilever off of which the sleeve drapes at 90 degrees. Tailoring should be all about straight lines, straight linear lines, right? Symmetry. And so when you have an extended shoulder, it allows the sleeves to drape in a perpendicular line. So again, if you see here, the sleeves aren't draping at all.
No.
They're clinging onto his arm.
Yeah, that's right, yes.
One, the sleeves are too slim, they're too small, and there's not enough shoulder extension to allow the sleeves to hang properly. So you can see that this jacket is ruined already at the shoulders, and there's nothing else you're going to do. Forget for a moment the fact that the jacket is too short. But in terms of the overall fit in the body, once you've missed the shoulders, nothing else is going to go right. Okay? So this is just, for me, this cannot be fixed. This is a throwaway, or what they would call a throwaway. And you just have to start all over again from the shoulders. Now, let's talk about the back. Again, the back is, the coat is too short. It's barely covering his backside, but just barely. It needs to be slightly longer. The coat
About an inch?
About an inch. At a minimum, an inch, maybe even inch and a half. You can see from the back that the biceps are screaming. You can see the biceps are screaming. Again, it goes back to my point. If you had extended the shoulders, right? And sort of cut a slightly fuller sleeve head. You wouldn't have all that bunching in the back there.
You need quite a fuller sleeve head.
Well, he's a big guy. You can see that. That's a stocky guy. What he's wearing is a skinny suit. Effectively.
Yeah.
He's wearing sort of a supersized skinny suit. What I call sort of basically a blown up, if you understand what I mean. It's
An
just
inflated
basically
skinny suit.
exactly. You take a skinny suit pattern and you just basically blow it up, right? And that's what he's wearing. So you can see that in the biceps. Looking at the picture from the back, it's bunching up at the upper sleeve, at the sleeve head, and then everything else from there on is just a nightmare. It's just rubbish. The back tight. It's too tight across the back. You can see that.
Yeah.
You can
With
see
those
that
folds,
pulling
yes.
the folds. That you just sort of it's not enough room across the back. And again, if you extended the shoulders slightly, it gives you more room, just the surface area across the back.
Yeah.
So looking at this jacket, a lot of problems could be solved just by extending the shoulders.
Isn't that interesting?
Just by extending the shoulders an inch,
Yes.
or inch or so on either side, or maybe inch and a quarter on either side, could solve, I'd say, half of the problems with
Right
this jacket.
away.
Right away, without doing
open up the
anything.
chest.
It would open up the chest. It would sort
yeah.
of, it would clean up the back.
Yes.
It would allow the, coat to sit better.
Yeah.
And that's without even sort of adjusting the sleeve head or the upper sleeves, and just sort of extending the shoulders a little bit. Right.
Yes.
Would allow the garment to sit, to hang better off of his shoulders.
Yeah.
So that's about it. I don't think there's much
yeah.
else to add here, other than this is just it's complete garbage, and it's a throwaway. And if someone came to me with this, I'll just sort of ask him to kindly donate it to the Salvation
Army, yeah.
or the equivalent of it, and start all over again.
It's pity because clearly somebody paid for it.
Clearly.
And somebody made it.
And someone took the money.
And somebody took the money. I don't think the sleeves are quite the same length. That's another. And the balance, if you notice, the balance is a little curious. The left and right balance, or is that just the way he's standing?
The front balance, I think it's the way he's standing and the way the jacket, it looks like something is pulling it to the left. But I mean, it's such a it's such a mess that I wouldn't even it wouldn't even get to the sort of the front or sort of front back balance test.
No.
Right?
No.
So front balance, of course, you mean sort of by front balance, it means sort of the two panels
left and right,
they should hang properly and sort of be parallel and sit. Front back balance. I mean, you can't see the front back balance unless someone actually stands by the side, right? Which is sort of to make sure that the front panels and the back panel are hanging. But in this photo, you can't see the front back balance, but you can see the front balance. I think the jacket is so tight anyway that it's just really, it's not draping, it's not hanging. No. So you can't even judge the front balance. No. You can't even judge the front balance based on this picture.
It's pity, as I said, because somebody...
it's not even draping on the body properly.
Somebody obviously ordered it, hoping that he would have something that would look elegant, and he didn't get it. And you have to wonder, Prof, people have a factory or company that makes things like this, that it would be comparatively easy to get it right, if you know what I mean. As you said, wider shoulders, different sleeve pitch.
Yes, but the point you tend to, a lot of people tend to miss is that, and I've said this on a prior podcast, what you don't have, you cannot give. What you don't have, you cannot give.
I suppose, yeah.
If you don't know these things, and a lot of tailors don't, right? If you don't know some of these basic, principles, then how are you gonna make that? How are you gonna translate that into a garment for someone?
Indeed.
So yes. I think it starts again with the fundamentals, and I don't know if that was made in a tailor shop or in a workshop, but the point being, what you don't have, you cannot give.
No.
And
clearly.
so for a lot of people who walk into these workshops or tailor shops who don't have adequate training in the classics, right? They're just basically going out there and duplicating the mistakes that they've been taught.
And
or they've learned.
Yeah, and the people ordering are suckers in the sense that
Well, they don't know any
what
better.
That's it.
Right? So they don't know any
they
better.
don't know what
So
to say.
it's not their fault per se. In a sense, you would think that, we all have a responsibility to educate ourselves at a minimum.
Indeed,
right?
yes.
Which
yes.
is why places like AskOkey, social, sort
Right.
of at least our media outlets
Yes.
exist. But,
True.
maybe not everyone has the privilege of time or the resource to learn. And so there are a lot of people out there who says, I need a suit, and they put themselves into the care of a charlatan.
A snake oil salesman.
And there you have it.
Well, it's a pity because the lower end of the market, the entry-level end of the market is, I think, poorly served when conceivably if somebody did have and did have that knowledge, could put together something that was superior. And we had a couple of curious questions this week, Prof. We had somebody who said, why does Prof pull up his trouser legs before sitting down?
I think there's a gentleman who is obsessed. And he's probably asked that question at least 10 times.
Oh, crumbs. Okay.
Because I've seen it a few times and I've answered.
Have you answered it, have you? Okay.
I gave a very short answer, but he keeps asking the same question, and you've obviously come across the same question. I gave him a simple response. It's just a habit I picked up from my father.
Well, I think it's to stop the pulling.
It's just, it's a habit I picked up from my father, but it's also practical because when you stand up, okay?
Yeah.
When you stand up like this and you sit down, you see how your trousers are stretched out.
That's right, yes.
Right? Whereas if you stand up and you pull them up,
yes, that's right.
Okay, the larger part,
you're
sitting into the wider part of your thighs of your trousers, which makes it more comfortable when you're sitting.
It also prevents them from bagging in the knee.
I mean, that's, again, it's just technically makes sense to me, but it's just an old habit I picked up from my father, from my old man.
So you've been told, whoever you are, and now you
no more.
Now you have
no
the
more
answer.
Questions.
No more. Now, somebody else, and this is a very strange one, which I don't know what your answer will be at all. Somebody said that he noticed that you do deadlifting.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, can you recommend suitable underwear for deadlifting?
Oh,
now, is that a joke or is that a serious question?
I wish I could recommend, actually, if it were really a problem, then who knows, maybe there's a business opportunity.
Maybe there is, yes.
Make underwear for deadlifters.
Well, what is it
I wonder how large that market is, though. How many deadlifters are out there, and how many of them are in need of direly in need of suitable underwear?
I wonder.
I don't know. I'm not sure, but I don't know that that's a very large market. I deadlift, of course, as part of my weekly training. But I mean, I wear regular underwear, just like you, I suppose tidy whities, jockeys.
Disappointing answer, I imagine. I think he was
looking for a super sophisticated.
Yeah, and something that's sort of strong and stable.
No, I wear the same underwear I wear for everything else.
There we go.
There you have it.
Nothing special. Will AskOkey make shirts with detachable collars?
Oh boy, I doubt it. I think people tend to go overboard with this idea that we are all things classic. Classic doesn't necessarily mean anachronistic or what would be the right word for it.
That's
I mean, detachable collars. I mean, there's a place for it in, let's say, white tie or even black tie. There are those who go to those extremes, but I mean, we don't need them these days. The reason why detachable collars existed, if you remember, Pete, was so that you could you didn't have to launder the shirt every day. You could just basically change out the collar. This was before the days of washing machines and domestic laundry and just the ease of laundry. Back then, laundering services weren't as available, accessible. very often your wife did your
Oh,
laundry.
absolutely, yes.
And
yes.
you certainly didn't want to give her more work than she
Yeah, indeed, yes.
than she that she wanted to handle. So
Sure.
I think back then men just wore their shirts, wore the same shirt more than once or several times in a week, and they just swapped out the colors
Yeah.
just so they would look fresh.
Sure, sure.
And again, if you think about it, when you wear a dress shirt, the collar and a coat, the collar is the only visible part of the shirt, really.
Yes.
So, and that's what really gets dirty,
Yes,
the oil
absolutely.
from your neck. And so
Yeah.
that's the reason why detachable collars existed at the time. And there is no reason for them to exist today, unless you have a fetish.
Or you
Unless you have a fetish for these things.
for these things, you're a real hipster. Yeah, there is a place. There's, I think, one place in England which does the old style starching and washing of the linen collars to get them really stiff. Personally, I find them a nightmare to put on the stiff white collars. I mean, because you can't pull up your tie underneath them because there's no space between the what you call it of the collar and the inside. I remember my father telling me that in London, in the late 40s, before they cleaned up the air, men used to carry an extra collar in their bag because by the time they got to work,
it would be full of soot.
Collar was full of soot, yes. And another thing they used to have was they used to put sort of like extra cuffs, because if you spent all day writing, your shirt cuffs would be covered with ink.
Right.
And so you put on these special things and you could sit there and do your writing. But yeah, I personally don't recommend them. I think for the wing collars that you have for white tie or black tie, you probably would want a separate collar. But yeah, no, frightful nuisance. So the answer is almost certainly no. Darcy Clothing does them, and you can get them there. Very good ones. Had a good comment from a fellow called Tig968 on YouTube. Said that he's started making his own suits and costumes and takes inspiration from AskOkey. So there you go. We've actually inspired Guy not only to wear bespoke things, but get out there and make his own bespoke things. And I think we've said this a few months back, I think, that it's good to encourage that kind of thing. And if somebody has the time and the patience to learn, you certainly need an enormous amount of patience to do it, because you wreck the first few things that you make, at least the first few. Prof, what is the right venue for boating blazers? And what should you wear with them?
Well, I mean, the right venue is a boating regatta.
Most of us, I don't think, ever attend boating regattas.
Well, traditionally, it's a boating regatta. I mean, it's just like saying cricket flannels, right?
Right, cricket matches.
You wear cricket. They are meant to be worn at cricket matches, but I mean, you wear them casually, or you wear them as a statement of style.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
The same thing with boating stripes, right? They're traditionally meant to be worn at boating regattas. But how many people attend? How many people go to those these days?
I don't know.
Not many. So they are more or less a style statement.
Right. Okay.
They're a style statement, much like anything else that did have some kind of meaning.
At some point, it had a meaning. Yes.
At some point, but no longer carries the same meaning.
Well, I think people used to get them in college colors, didn't they?
Well, they
school
are
blazers.
Well, I mean, because the boating regattas, right? We can remember some of these were competitions, right?
That's right, like the Oxford and Cambridge race.
Collegiate, exactly. They were intercollegiate competitions. So each college, of course, would have its own colors. Similar to ties.
Yes.
Right. They would have their colors, their ties, and everything.
Yes.
Of course, one with a border.
That's right.
And very often cricket flannels, cricket flannel trousers,
Yes.
and maybe a waistcoat or something. But yeah, I mean, that's the reason. That's how they were worn for the occasion for which they were initially created.
There you go.
But much like everything else, these things are now more or less statements of style.
Yeah, so if you're going to wear your boating blazer, make sure that it doesn't belong to a college that you didn't go to. And it has brass.
Or if you get caught,
If you get caught,
you could always say it
That's right.
belonged to your grandfather.
That's right, yes. And it has brass buttons, probably, and you wear it with cream-colored cricket flannels or light gray trousers would probably do, like those gray AskOkeys,
Correct.
fresco trousers that we have. Now, just alongside that, and then that's it, I think, for today. What kind of suit or combination would you wear on a cruise ship?
Oh boy.
If you went on a cruise around Alaska coastline or the Hawaiian Islands or something, what kind of suit or combination would you think appropriate?
Well, I mean, cruises are associated with holidays,
Yeah.
right? So I don't think anyone packs a business suit to go on a cruise.
No, indeed. No.
However, these cruises, I mean, I've been on a few of them. Typically, the events prepared in the evening, dinner. So they usually sort of sometimes formal dinners or balls, even balls that are organized on board for those who are into that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so there's an opportunity to wear black tie, whether it's creative black tie or actual your dinner clothes.
Sure.
You know, if I were going on a cruise in the summer or to sort of a warm, I mean, I'd probably take, you know, a few linen sport jackets, linen jackets, light linen jackets, and linen slacks
There you go.
for wear during the day. Some polo shirts, maybe some linen popover shirts or linen camp collar shirts, but very casual. And then for the evenings, in the event that there is a ball, I probably might pack a tuxedo, pack a dinner suit, or at least a dinner jacket.
Or your ivory dinner jacket, maybe,
dinner jacket.
if it's in the summertime.
Exactly, with a bow tie and that's
there we go. So there you have it. For the evening, formal, and for the daytime, casual. But obviously, when we say casual, AskOkey does not mean messy.
It doesn't mean shorts and flip-flops.
It doesn't mean shorts and flip-flops, no. And so you need to think always, people might look at you. And so you don't want to present a figure that makes them want to turn away in scorn, disdain, or displeasure. Anyway, that's all we've got time for. Thank you very much for joining us. And we look forward to being with you again next week here at the AskOkey podcast, coming to you from Studio One. Bye for now, and thank you, Prof.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you for having me.
See you. Most welcome.
You.